countdown here, so I will let you know when we're ready to go. When we,
Right.
yep, we are good to go. So go ahead, Bob.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Robert Beaver,
Here.
Betty Malik,
Yes.
Kristen Kraft, Craig Gerlach, Justin Hirner, Richard Murden,
Yes.
Linnea Miller,
Yes.
Gordon Shallow, Charles Spargo.
Here.
Open meeting certification, the August 17th, 2020 meeting of the Mid-State Technical College District Board of Directors and all other meetings of the board and or its committees is open to the public in compliance with state statutes. Notice this meeting has been sent to the news media and designated persons in an attempt to make citizens of the Mid-State Technical College District Board aware of the place, time, and agenda of the meeting. At this time, we have a place for open forum. Is there anybody there that wants to speak? If not, the public should be aware that this is an open forum that we have. It's an option of the board chairperson and ground rules have been established to ensure the orderly conduct of business. This is a meeting of the district board open to the public and not a public hearing. Persons who wish to address the district board may make a statement as long as it pertains to a specific agenda item. Individuals should not expect to engage in discussion with members of the district board. The district board chairperson may or may not respond to statements made. Okay, we need a motion on the July 13th, 2020 board minutes.
So moved. This is Betty.
I'll second that. This is Rick.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Action on consent agenda items, payment of bills and payroll. And
I'd make a-
President services. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. This is Chuck.
There's a second.
I'll second it. This is Chris.
Any questions? If not, roll call vote, please.
Robert Beaver,
Yes.
Betty Malik,
Yes.
Kristen Kraft,
Yes.
Richard Murden,
Yes.
Linnea Miller,
Yes.
Charles Spargo,
Yes.
Motion carried. Chairperson's report. Welcome to the meeting, those of you who have made it.
Effort.
Craig, Justin, and Gordy have been asked to be excused. Would anybody like to comment on the summer Boards Association meeting was held virtually?
I think the Mid-State group did an excellent job, especially Jackie.
Eddie?
I agree with Rick, and I was very skeptical about having a virtual meeting, but Steve did an outstanding job to keep everybody on track, and it seemed to work a lot better than my system is working today.
Okay. All right. I thought it was an excellent in-service, so by the way.
Yes.
Especially for folks who have not been involved with the K-12 system. I thought it was a really nice way to present everything. And I thought Steve did do a great job, by the way, and should be commended on that. The ACCT Leadership Congress, there's a bit of a story to go with this, but anyway, we held October 5th to the 8th. It's going to be virtual. And if you're interested in going, Angie, no, now. Shelley, do you want to tell everybody about the excitement that centers around this, please, because it is exciting news.
It really is. I talked to Bob earlier today. We had submitted a proposal regarding our healthcare simulation project. So we had sent in this proposal and we had titled it 3 Missions, 1 Project, Mid-State Healthcare Simulation Center. And we heard last Thursday that we were accepted as far as our proposal, meaning that we have a slot for the national conference, which we are so excited about. So they have given us a time of it'll be on Tuesday, October 6th, that we will have to do our presentation from 3:15 to 4:15. Now, because it's virtual, that means that we will be doing our presentation ahead of time, and we will be taping ourselves, and then it will be going to them, that they will be playing it at that time. And then there will need to be a couple of us that would be available during the time of showing to be able to answer any questions. But this is really big, everybody, for Midstate to be able to land one of the proposals for the national conference. I'm just so proud of Bobby and her team and Deb that actually put the proposal together. I mean, it just shows the good work and the good project. I know one of the things that I had shared with Legacy and Aspirus Riverview when we were talking about this project was, I really believe that this would get national exposure because it is so unique. And I think this is now just a testament to show that, yes, that there really is the need to hear about these projects, because community colleges, technical colleges, we have needs, and we need to be able to work with the partners to be able to make it happen. So now with that, you may recall that usually ACCT can be a pretty pricey conference. Typically, it's about $829 a piece to be able to just the registration for the conference, and then you have lodging on top of that. Because they made the decision to have a virtual conference, they definitely reduced the rate. The rate is down to about $349 a person, which is really a steal because it does give you access to all of the sessions that are going to be happening. Roughly, there's about 15 sessions, and then there will be general sessions as well. But because now our college has been approved to be delivering one of the proposals, we can have up to 10 people be able to have the ability to be part of the conference for under $2,000. So actually $1,949 for up to 10 people. So less than $200 a person. So I definitely want us to take advantage of that if you are interested. So if you are interested in being one of our 10 people to be a participant for the Leadership Congress, Angie know, and we will put you down and we will register the Midstate team. Definitely want to have you, the board, be able to have the first dibs on that, and then we'll offer it to a couple of the vice presidents as well who will be doing the presentation. But it is really exciting. I hope that makes you very proud. And I did share with Layla and the Morna that we were one of them that did get selected. I think there were 2 other WTCS colleges, she thought, who also were accepted. So a good showing from Wisconsin, definitely. So Bobby, Bob, I think that's what I wanted to share.
No, you did a very good job. I told Shelley on the phone, I had sent her an email asking if we could discuss this tonight, and really thinking that maybe we get one membership and 3 or 4 of us could look at it at different times because we wouldn't want to see everything all the time. And if by the time I was ready to talk to her, she called me. Noah Brown had already sent out an email and basically beat me to the step and got a deal for us. So, you know, you try to cheat and they catch you every damn time, don't they? So, anyway, that's what the first thing I thought when I saw that email. Anyway, I think it's a great deal. You don't have to watch everything, and you certainly see a lot of things. The opening general session is normally great, and we can see this presentation by Midstate. And then there's generally 2 or 3 good, really good general presenters. So if you're interested in letting Angie know, I certainly am going to try it. And I'm kind of excited about the whole thing. I think it's a good deal.
So do they have the new agenda, the new conference, you know, what all the workshops are going to be, or what all the speakers are going to be yet? Or is they still assembling that?
I think if you go ahead. I'm sorry, Shelley.
So
I looked at the website and I thought they had a pretty good breakdown of what it's going to be.
yeah, they do. They have a very much kind of their tentative plan, Rick. Basically, once everybody's informed that their proposal has been chosen, we now have to respond to let them know, will we accept that or not? So you may see some sessions could change, but I would assume most people would be able to, you know, accommodate it. The big thing is we have to let them know by August 26th exactly how many people are presenting, and I will tell you, Bobby and I were talking about this today, and ELT will talk about this tomorrow. I want to be able to have Legacy and Aspirus be able to make a couple of comments about this, so we'll have our marketing team kind of put it all together, because I think especially with our title of being 3 missions, I think it would be great for Mike or someone from Legacy to say why they wanted to support this project, Aspirus Riverview to say why did they want to partner with us, and for us to be able to establish our need and what we did to try to find a solution. So I really see it as just a really, I think it'll be one of the best presentations I have, to be honest with you. And if something happens and you're not able to see it at that time, when you do, we get you registered for it, you'll have access again to all of the sessions. So you'd be able to watch it at any time. So I think that will also, that's just a great thing, great thing.
Rick, for your question specifically about the schedule, they do not have the concurrent sessions named yet. What they do have is the, one of the keynotes is Phi Theta Kappa New Century Workforce Scholars presentation. Other than that, they have not named the others yet. So that's still to come.
Okay. Do you know if that's coming before the 26th?
Probably not, I would guess, Rick, because we have till that date to let them know.
Yes.
So I'm guessing they probably gave that date to everybody.
Yeah.
So I would guess you probably won't see anything, you know, until I would think after Labor Day, to be honest with you, by the time they flush it out.
Yeah.
But I would think that, I would just say, even if you have an interest in being able to go on at a different time, we would still put you down. So.
Any
So
other
you can-
questions or thoughts?
I definitely want to attend. This is Betty.
I would plan
Okay.
on it. This is Rick.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? If not,
Yeah.
next meeting is,
Yes. Can I just say, I don't know if I'm not on the agenda for the Boards Association planning meeting is this coming Friday. We're just getting our materials for the meeting on Friday. If anybody's got any items that they want us to be discussing for the next year, definitely let us know. I know Shelley and I both will attend that meeting virtually.
Is it this?
thanks, Betty.
Okay.
It's kind of disappointing that I think we're gonna have to do that October session virtually from what I gathered from Steve. And I tell you,
Right.
it's beautiful in the fall. It's just gorgeous up there by,
Abby and Matt.
Minocqua. Oh, it is just gorgeous. And that college setting is just magnificent. It just is. Next meeting is Monday, September 21st. Hopefully we can meet in Rapids, in face-to-face. Committee meetings at 4:15, committee at the whole at 5, and everybody at 5:20. Any other comments? If not, the president's up. Oh, I'm sorry, liaison, you don't have anything, Betty?
No, I do not.
Okay. Okay, Shelley, you're up.
Right, so Bob, I just want to clarify, so then you're asking us as the college, then you would like to have us plan for a face-to-face meeting in September?
If we can, I guess as I say yes. I don't know
Okay.
that that's realistic, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
I don't know if anything else is going on around here. The restaurants are still saying you're kind of limited to 25 people and they can't be very close together. So I don't know. I guess I would hope we could and plan on doing it virtually. So go from there. And I don't know, maybe we should check with other people. How many people don't want to meet face to face till this thing gets straightened around?
I would be concerned about meeting face to face. I would prefer to get together in person, but I'd be concerned about it.
Well, then I think Justin had said about the same thing, Chuck, here a month or two ago. So if that's the way people feel, let's just plan on virtual. And Shelley, I got ahead of myself, I guess.
No, that's okay. That's why I just wanted a question, because I know we had talked about some things, but we also were like, we're gonna wait and see, and so I just wanted to make sure we do what you as the board want, so, okay. So then I think then unless I hear from you differently, Bob, I'll assume September we'll still do a virtual meeting, okay? And then maybe we can talk more about October, when we know more, so, okay.
So it's a sign of a good administrator. You keep your board chair straight.
Hey, we're a team. We keep each other straight, that's for sure. Okay, so the president's report, just have a few things that I wrote down that I wanted to share with you. One is just trying to keep you updated with where we're at, with all the things associated with COVID. I have been trying to send you any of the communication that I have sent out from the Office of the President. So the last one that you would have received from me stated that on August 3rd, we were moving into what we call our phase 3 of reopening after the Safer at Home order. So that just started a couple weeks ago. I can tell you so far so good, things are going well. Just to kind of take that walk back in time, remember May 18th is when we moved into phase 1, where we finished our spring semester students. June 1st, we moved into phase 2, and now August 3rd, we are coining as our phase 3. We still have a mask requirement for all students and staff, and that has not changed at all since our first phase. We have really expected that from the beginning. Due to our fall semester, though, starting next week, which is August 24th, we will be having more staff and students on campus. But we also will be maintaining many of our virtual services as well. So as we've kind of looked at it, I would probably say that maybe 50% of our staff, will be coming back to campus. So we still have many team members that are working still at their home. But I just wanted to let you know, we definitely will have more people on campus just with students alone. And I'm really happy that Deb Stencil, during her academic plan, she's going to be sharing you kind of the breakdown of our online classes and how does it compare to last year. So I think you'll find that very informative. The next WTCS State Board meeting is scheduled for September 15th. And this meeting will also be done in a virtual format. And why I'm bringing that up is you may recall it was our college's turn to host the state board meeting. So I want to just assure you that we have been working with the state office on ways in which Midstate can be highlighted, even though it's virtual. So I will be doing the official welcome at the start of the meeting, along with a short presentation on what is happening at Midstate and throughout our district. We will also be presenting to one of our employers the WTCS Future Maker Partner Award. This is an award that is given to an employer in our district who is a great partner to our college in many ways. The last 3 recipients have been Martin Machining, Ocean Spray, and Skyward. I'm happy to tell you, but it's just everything's aligning. They say the stars align sometimes, and they do. We chose Aspirus Riverview Hospital to be our partner this year because of everything that they have done. And it's even more appropriate now with the proposal being accepted and so forth. So we have shared with Aspirus Riverview that they will be named the WTCS partner for Midstate. We are just keeping it at this level right now, but we're just excited. They will actually be here that day and we'll be able to present the award virtually. We put together what has Aspirus Riverview, what do they directly do for us? And I wanted to highlight a few things. They actively participate on 7 program advisory committees, and we know that they guide the relevancy in our curriculum. They currently provide 7 clinical and practicum sites for our students and our health programs. They support our clinical preceptors. They allow Medevac employees to share their skills through instruction. They provide scholarships to students and have been generous throughout the years sponsoring Midstate Foundation events. They hire Midstate graduates and often invest in keeping their skills updated. And they allow their leadership to be part of our leadership. Currently, Lisa Rowe-Poplinski, who is their Vice President of System Care Coordination, Quality Improvement, and Patient Safety at Aspirus, serves on our Mid-State Foundation board and has been since 2014. And moreover, they innovate with the college. And the Mid-State Healthcare Simulation Center is just one excellent example of that. So we're very excited to be able to give them our WTCS Partner Award. On August 13th, we had the WTCS Presidents Association meeting. Topics include roundtable sharing along with system president, legislative, and district board association updates. We discussed enrollment trends across the system and the estimated total expenses around COVID for all 16 colleges, and wanted to just share a little bit of this data with you. As far as enrollment trends, of the 16 technical colleges right now, only 4 are reporting that they've seen a slight increase in enrollment. 12 are reporting that they are down around those ranges that we are hearing across the nation, the 10 to 45% down. When we totaled all of the estimated expenses for all 16 colleges, how much is this costing us as a whole, as a system? It comes out to be about $50 million.
Wow.
So with the $50 million, we have received $20.2 million from the federal CARES money that you have seen come through. And we also received $8 million to our system from the governor CARES money. So if you kind of take that 20.2 and you take that 8 million and you subtract it from 50 million, right now we are saying that the WTCS needs an additional $21.2 million as a system yet. We are currently sharing that with the governor's office along with legislators. So as you hear more about the federal activity that is happening, will there be another COVID bill? We are hoping if there is, they would be thinking about the educational institutions. To give you another number, you maybe have seen this in the news as well, the UW system is sharing that they have a shortfall of around $105 million. For our college, and taking into consideration fall semester and this going into the spring semester, just for our college, it is estimated that we would need about $3 million to be able to do everything that we would need to do. Now, what we are doing is we are prioritizing everything that we can. Currently, we've received about 1.2 million, and we're trying to make decisions on what do we for sure need for fall. We're not purchasing per se things yet for spring. We would probably have to do that in October. We're hoping to know more about the national funding or more of maybe governor's allocation that they may receive. You maybe also had heard that on July 22nd, Governor Evers made an announcement regarding additional state budget costs to all of his state agencies. So the WTCS state office would be included in that group. And those cuts were shared with us. They will be passed down to the colleges. It could be reduction either through our system grants or through outcome-based funding. We will be hearing soon the detail on how the actual reduction will happen and what the amount will be. Now, please keep in mind when we built our budget on what had been approved with no reductions, we have developed different scenarios that we would have to implement this year regarding the amount and timing of any reductions. So I think it's fair to say with the July 22nd decision, the first shoe has fallen from the standpoint we know we're going to have a reduction, and we are very much still being told that there will be a larger reduction that will be coming through a state budget repair bill that will be coming out around November. So just wanted to kind of share that again, we're getting the same information that we got kind of early summer, that there will be a reduction. When the state has a shortfall, of course they have to go through where all the allocations are, the money that had been promised. So kind of not good news, but we'll stay on top of it. And based on when we find out what those dollar amounts are, we will go to our scenarios and make some decisions that we would need to make. So we're very much in tune with what is happening, not only at the state level, but at the federal level. The next president's meeting will be on September 15th, which is right after the WTCS State Board meeting. And if you recall, the presidents, we are electing to meet every month this year, just because of everything that is happening. And I think that's a really, really good thing. So very happy with that. Very happy with that, because we're learning from one another. And again, we're all going to be implementing some strategies depending on how deep the cuts will be. With that though, I am continue to be really pleased with the Midstate team. I think they are really working hard to do what they can with our enrollments. As of this week, we are just under 6% down. So we are doing well, even though that is down. I think we're really doing well with everything around us right now. So, any questions on any of that information? There was kind of a lot there that I threw at you as far as some numbers, but I just thought it would be good for you to kind of know what the WTCS system is facing now.
Well, thanks, Shelley. Okay,
Yep.
Chuck's up with the finance committee report. Chuck, you want to take the lead on that, please?
Sure thing. Money, money, money. Got lots of money things for you. We've got 2 months of financials to address. I'll probably go into more detail than you'd care to hear, but consider preliminary from the standpoint of our 2 head finance guys are not available to answer questions this evening. And of course, we're coming to year-end budget review and audit from the past year. So first, if we take a look at the page 12 of the June report, we've got budget modifications for year end. Again, I want to emphasize this is preliminary. Some of it's just adjusting budgets to actual for things, but we're also pushing money from the 1920 to 2019-2020 to the 2020-21 budget. And under Fund 3 capital projects, I'm a little bit confused. The wording doesn't seem to jive with the expense change. It seems like we're pushing money into next year, but it's showing an actual increase in expense changes for 2020. Shelley, I know you invited me to send questions. I didn't get this to this detail early enough to send it to you for you to check it out. So this is going to have an impact on the budgeted revenues on the next page. So moving to that, page 13, I believe it is. Current budget for fiscal year 2020. It takes into account the modifications to the budget on the prior page. They're just minor adjustments to Fund 1 for expenses and revenues. Fund 2, as Shelley mentioned, we're getting, we got dual credit additions there, and specifically she mentioned the CARES Act. We've got additional revenue and expenses showing up in Fund 2. We've got the question that I've got is on the capital outlay and expenditures. I'm not sure that that's accurate, so that's going to have an impact on our budget ending fund equity. But that's merely shifting money from one budget year to the next. It's not going to have an overall impact on lasting fund equity situation. The next page shows the current actuals year to date. We've had recognized or expended, or excuse me, received revenues of roughly 96% of budget, so we're very close to the budgeted revenue. The expenditures are 93.6% of budget, so we're below revenue, but we're further below in expenditures, which means a net benefit to the college. It looks like we're, from what I can tell, nearly a million under budget in the current expenditures column in Fund 1, which is very good from the standpoint of if we haven't needed to spend it, we haven't. We've been able to save that money for the future when we may have greater needs. And the bottom line for Fund 1 is it looks like we've got a carryover of additional year-end fund equity of about $600,000, which will be good news. In terms of all funds, it looks like maybe $1 million of additional year-end fund equity to carry forward to help us through whatever difficulties we might be facing with budget cuts. The expenditures for the month exceeded revenue by 2.5 million. So we saw a drop in our fund equity, but again, we're ending up positive relative to the budget. The next page shows the asset balances. We had a boost in our cash specifically because the monies we got from our note of 4.5 million came in a day early. So it wasn't anticipated until the 2021 budget year, but it came in the last day of 2020. So our cash went up compared to prior years. And then consequently, the deferred revenue account down in liabilities went up because it can't be shown as 2020 revenue. It really belongs in 2021. So the deferred revenues went up by that same amount of the bond revenue. That finishes my summary of the June financials. Any questions on that? Okay, then moving on to July. Again, this is, I want to consider this kind of preliminary. Of course, it's the first month of the new fiscal year. We don't have budget modifications for July yet because of lack of time. So July and August budget modifications will hit the books, be shown to us next month at the September meeting. But again, I think the thing I want to point out on this page is the budgeted fund equity is showing a bump of between $600,000 and $700,000 by my figuring in column 1, Fund 1. That's good news as we enter a difficult time in the next year. We're seeing a bump in expenditures for current expenditures in Fund 2 because of the CARES money that's available. And the capital outlay is the one that I've got a question on if we're showing that correctly from the 2020 budget to the 2021 budget. But the accounting boys, when they get back in the office, can help straighten me out on that.
Absolutely. And I wrote myself here. The only thing that had been shared with me, and I don't know if this will help or not, but I'll leave a note and we'll definitely connect back with you. That I know that because the note that I had here was the Fund 3 decrease in budget expense was due to projects started and they were expensed in 1920 for 2021. So then the FY 2021 budget was reduced, not to double spend.
Yep.
So that's part of the reasoning I know that they had shared with me, but I'm going to make a note here, Chuck, and then we will connect with you directly, okay?
Okay. And it's related to the funds will be spent in fiscal year 21. So it looks like funds are going to be shoved from 2020 to 2021, but the sign doesn't on that column doesn't agree with that statement. So I need help understanding that issue. So on current actuals, the first month of the fiscal year, of course, we don't get a lot of revenue early in the year, and we have more expenditures. So the expenditures exceeded revenue by about $2 million. So our fund equity dropped, but that's why we have fund equity to carry that, have that cash flow available. The next page shows the asset balance sheet shows that cash dropping a little bit, but it's still higher than before because of the early receipt of the bond revenue. And the deferred revenues are down now, too, reflecting that it's now the correct fiscal year for that. I think that's it for the July financial report. Any questions on that? Okay.
Gotcha.
Next on the agenda, we've got Mr. Meehan here from Baird to help walk us through the resolution for the additional $1 million of borrowing that we're going to do. We've already done the 4.5 million, as you recall, a couple months ago, and that's the chunk of money that we got on June 30th, just before the end of the last fiscal year. John worked with me earlier today to explain, as we've seen in the past, I don't know if the whole board has this, but they've give a debt service summary showing a financial forecast out 10 years and the borrowings, both from the 4.5 million that we did just a little while ago and the 1 million that we're contemplating, and how that rolls forward through the years, and helped me understand how that is working out. And to my satisfaction, that was a very helpful conversation. John, if you want to just review for the rest of the board what this $1 million offering will be, and we'll move on.
Great. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
As was mentioned by Director Spargo, the amount that is included in your 2021 capital projects is 5.5 million. Just to back up, the reason that 4.5 showed up on June 30th is, as we were going through the process, bond counsel raised their hand and said, as of July 1, you have new officers, which are voted in on July 13th. So, you run into some problem here where they basically said, you should close by June 30th. So then it was under the old group of officers, et cetera, and board. So that's why we had to make that little change on the June 30th. The reason we had to separate this $1 million issue is, by state statutes, technical colleges are limited to bonding for remodeling and improvements no more than 1.5 million per meeting. So within this issue, it's something like $600,000. I'm gonna make this up. It's $633,000, I think, really apply to remodeling, and the other 300 applies to some equipment. The equipment number for borrowing purposes is almost unlimited. It's a mammoth number. But for the remodeling, the wisdom of the legislators, it limits it to 1.5 million per month. And I've been doing this so long, I was telling the director earlier today that I remember when it was 500,000. I remember when it went up to $1 million, and then it went up to $1.5 million, and that's it. They're not gonna let us raise it. So we have to split these issues. So if you were Milwaukee Area Technical College, you would see me every month, like it or not, because they borrow $1.5 million every month because of that restriction. So that's why we had to split it to two different issues. The resolution, which has been prepared by your bond counsel that you have on the agenda today, allows you to issue that $1 million. It does require that within 10 days of approval today, it has to be, there's a publication notice that has to take place. I'm sure your staff is on top of it. I'm sure they're ready to do it. The reason I'm only going over that is because I've had that other ugly experience to get that phone call saying, oops, we missed a publication. And then we had to come back and borrow it all, do the next resolution the next month. So there's a resolution that is adopted. There's a publication that takes place. We have the official statement underway for offering purposes. It is updated from the last one. We do have to go to the rating agencies and apply once again for rating. And we will proceed that for your September board meeting to have the sale. And, frankly, I'm glad that you're talking about doing virtually, because at Baird, we're prohibited from client meetings until we're told different. So I don't know when that will be. So we will be back at the September meeting with the sale results and the final interest rates for the issue. take a pause there and see if there's any questions I can answer.
Any questions from anybody? Okay. I think we're good to go, John.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very much.
John.
Thank you.
With that, then, I think we've got the resolution for this borrowing is in Exhibit F. I notice we have other exhibits related to that. Do we take them one at a time, or do we only have to approve Exhibit F at this point?
That is. Chuck, can you hear
Sorry?
me?
Go ahead.
F is the only, to move forward with that resolution.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution as shown in Exhibit F.
I'll second. This is Betty.
Any questions? If not, roll call, please.
Robert Beaver,
Yes.
Betty Brusky Malik,
Yes.
Kristen Kress,
Yes.
Richard Murden,
Yes.
Ann Miller,
Yes.
Charles Spargo.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
thank you, John. All right, then the last item on the agenda for the Finance and Infrastructure Committee is just informational item. The status of the fiscal year 20 independent financial audit. We've been notified that the auditors are going to be in the office in about the middle of September for I think about 4 days. They'll let us know specifically what their needs are. I presume a lot of the work is going to be done virtually, but they'll be in the office to do some preliminary gathering of data and discussion with staff. And I think that's it for the Finance and Infrastructure Committee.
Thanks, Chuck. Betty, for Academic and Student Services.
We had no consent agenda items, but our informational items tonight will be provided by Dr. Deb Stencil. The first one is on the academic plan overview. Dr. Deb, where are you? Oh, there she
I'm
is.
here.
There
I'm
she
here.
is.
Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I wanted to provide you with a overview of what we have planned for the fall semester. So we all know that this is a time of uncertainty for our students. So this fall, we implemented what we're calling our Experience Choice campaign to let students know that they have a choice in how they attend classes at Midstate. So students have an option to enroll in classes online. They can attend small in-person classes right on campus, or they could attend classes in real time using technology. So they could actually participate in classes that are being held here on campus using technology and having that ability to be home and attending in real time. So what happened was the academic team looked at all of the scheduled classes for fall and determined how students could attend each class. So it's in person, online, or kind of a combination using technology. Once this was determined for each class, the Student Services team then created 2,200 individual class schedules. So sending a class schedule to each student who was enrolled this fall to let them know specifically how each of the classes that they were enrolled in would be offered, so that they could make that decision on, do I come to campus? Do I participate from home? And my online class I know will be online. So really a lot of teamwork and a lot of effort going in to provide that personalized schedule for students. So some highlights that I wanted to share with you. For this fall, we have nearly 150 online classes, which is 40 more than we offered last fall. So again, looking at our class list and determining which ones could be offered online, and we've increased that number, allowing students that option to complete those classes online. 59% of the classes with an in-person component can be completed entirely using technology from home. So 59% of the in-person classes that have an in-person component can be completed by students in real time, connecting with technology from home. And then an additional 25% of our in-person classes can be partially completed from home using web conferencing tools. So for those particular classes, they will be required to come to campus for some of the hands-on labs, but it's not the whole course. So again, providing students those options of completing some of it from home if they need to. So when you think about those statistics, 84% of our in-person classes can be completed either partially or fully from home. And I think this is really important when we don't know what will happen over the fall semester. We could have students who have children, in the K-12 system, maybe they have a virtual day, so their children will be home and they won't be able to come to campus. Maybe they'll be on quarantine for 14 days and again, can't come to campus, but they'll be able to participate using technology into those classes. We're continuing to monitor enrollments and are working together to provide each student with specific information as we go forward. I've also asked faculty to front load their hands-on components. So having that happen earlier in the semester. So in the event that with influenza season, or if we would happen to get more cases of COVID-19, if we were asked to close our campus buildings, that the hands-on pieces, we at least establish a foundation where students have that hands-on learning earlier in the semester. And I've also asked faculty to be prepared to teach virtually in the event we would have to close our campus buildings.
I have a question, Deb. How much time is faculty on the campus?
What we've told them, just like our staff, our employees, the other employees, we're not 100% open. We're not 100% back on campus. So I've told faculty that if they're teaching an in-person class, if they need to work with, their equipment, they have training on their equipment, or if they need to attend an in-person meeting, in those cases, they'd be on campus, but otherwise they can prep from home. They can teach, certainly their online courses or their other courses if they're using technology, they can do that from home. So we're being very sensitive to the fact that we're having more virtual meetings like this and being pretty intentional when we're calling faculty to come to campus. Still having limits on large meetings.
Sure. Okay, Thank you.
You're welcome. And
item number B is the faculty in service.
Yeah, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about our faculty in service. So their fall 2020 faculty in service was held virtually last Thursday, so August 13th. Faculty in service is held at the beginning of every semester, and the purpose is to really discuss academic specific topics. So it's different from college in service because we're really talking about teaching and learning and helping faculty have the skills and the tools to do their job and those expectations in the following semester. So we had over 90 faculty and academic leaders attend faculty in service. Again, it was held virtually. The theme for the day was put yourself in your student's shoes. And we have had a number of topics where we kind of said, okay, our students are coming from all different walks of life. Each student has different needs. And our topics were centered around the fact that we have students wearing different shoes, different situations. So we need to better understand those situations. So we started out with some academic updates from me and the executive dean, Dr. Chris Severson. And then we had a number of relevant sessions. We talked about credit for prior learning opportunities, where we can award students with credit for prior work and life experience. We definitely talked about assessment of student learning and our initiative that we really started a year ago and what we're continuing to do in the coming year. Karen did a session on eye care for faculty, really looking at those performance expectations that we have of faculty and how can they weave and demonstrate eye care principles. Those are our core values of the college. We had an update from Disability Services on, what does it mean for students now in this COVID environment? What kinds of things might students come to us with as it relates to accommodations related to COVID? We got some information on early alert tools for students who fall behind. We had a session on navigating change to promote resiliency, really talking about what does that mean for us, and then how can we help our students navigate change and help them be more resilient learners. And then we celebrated best practices and lessons that we learned really as a result of COVID and moving our instruction to that virtual format last spring. And we just ended the day by celebrating what people learned, what faculty learned, what they maybe did at the time that now they're going to carry forward and continue to do because they found that it was effective. I will say though that my favorite session of the day was a panel presentation by some faculty. I think there were about 6 faculty who talked about their experience with our assessment work. So they shared the message that, you know, prior to really digging into their assessment data, they thought they were doing fine. Their students were passing the course. They felt that they were assessing students on the competencies and outcomes that they had set. But it really wasn't until they looked at their data specifically for, you know, kind of that high level look at their data that they realized there were some times when they had some gaps and that students didn't do as well as they had thought. And they talked about now how they're planning to make some changes, again, to improve student learning. And they were looking forward to assessing their assessment data again in the fall semester to see if they actually saw an improvement. So it was really good to hear faculty say that message. And I think it was a very powerful message. And that was, like I said, that was my favorite part of the day. So while we spent the day in virtual sessions, we did have great faculty engagement. We had questions being asked verbally, the chat was active. A number of us were answering questions in the chat. Faculty were answering questions as well. And the other really great thing about doing it virtually is we could have education services really role model some of those best practices that they can use as they're working with their students virtually. So I think not only did it work for us to get the faculty and service content to the faculty, but they learned some things that they could then use with their own students. So all in all, a very good day.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions? That'll conclude our report then for the evening.
Okay, I'm replacing Justin tonight, so Human Resources, External Relations. We had no consent agenda items, informational items, World College-wide in-service. Karen?
Yeah, so you just heard Deb talk about faculty in service. The day before that, we had college-wide in service. So faculty in service is just for faculty and talks really about those teaching and learning topics. And college-wide in service is more general, and it includes all regular employees of the college. So again, we did it virtually, like faculty in service, by teams. And so I was a little bit nervous about putting 200 people on a Teams meeting. You know how technology works with all of us this many on a meeting, and we had a little over 200 people on the Teams meeting for in-service. So it went amazing. I was concerned about it, but Brad assured me, nope, this will work. We can do it, and we sure did. So that was Wednesday. We had it virtually, but people could come to campus if they needed to. For instance, we have some staff that live in places that don't have really good internet access, and really to be on a Teams meeting all day, they opted to come to campus. So it was kind of a come on in if you need to or want to, but stay home if you can. So we had people on the Adams campus, they all elected to stay home, and we had 10-ish or less on Marshfield and Stevens Point, and I think we had 40 some here. So certainly way less than half the people came in, which was good. We don't want a lot of people in the building if they don't have to be. But as always, we started the day with updates from Shelley, just general college updates and what's going on. And that's always one of our highest rated sessions. Staff love to hear what's going on, what's new, where are we at, where are we headed. That's always a well-received session. Christina Lorge, Dr. Lorge did a session on Title IX which is required of us to continually do training for our students and staff on Title IX. So sometimes I get people that say enough of that, and I get people who say, give us more of that, but we're going to give you more because we're required to do that. We did have a session where Randy and Dean did that intro to the security system. So we played the video. They were on a little bit longer than Randy was for you, showed them more of the bells and whistles of the system and took questions about it. So that was a great new thing to roll out to staff that happened while you were sleeping, right? While they were gone, magically. We did break for lunch, and we provided lunch for those people who attended on campus. We had box lunches at every location for however many the people who said they were going to be there. So that was great. In lunch, we provided, usually we give some sort of a welcome back gift in the fall at in-service, and we can give it in person. We couldn't do that this time. So if you were there and you were had a lunch there, we also had our goodie bag there. So this year we gave kind of this personal protection bag. It was a thermometer and some Midstate masks, Midstate logoed masks, a hand sanitizer, some new information about our new Moving Forward Together 2025, things like that. So everybody still got a welcome back to campus gift. It just was distributed and looks different. And everybody who wasn't on campus for in-service, it will be distributed to them when they're first back on campus. And we got all back together, and Natasha Miller and I had a session on diversity, equity, and inclusion and how we're going to do that differently starting this year. And I'm pretty sure that may be a board topic sometime this fall to learn more about our equity and inclusion task force. We've seen that the system has put a lot of work into equity and inclusion work, and we want to strengthen our response to that as well. Shelley did some prize drawings. That's also very well received. And this year, the prize drawings were for apparel with our new mascot on it. And I think Bobby will share a little news about the mascot a little later. So it was brand new stuff that nobody could even buy yet. So they were pretty excited about that. And then we gave each team 2 hours to do whatever they needed to do as a team. So teams did all kinds of different things. Mandy, one of her teams, or maybe 2, she had given them an article ahead of time about DEI and student services and how that works, and asked them to read it, and they had the conversation about it during team time. Some did team building events virtually, whatever they chose to do. So that was well received. So far, I don't have survey results yet. It was just last Wednesday. So, but we're getting good feedback about people really enjoyed it. So it's, again, one of those things that, perhaps we'll take a swing at doing one of them. We do 2 a year. Maybe we'll do one of them virtually if we get that feedback. Any questions on in-service?
Oh, thank you. Marketing and public relations, Bobby.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
One of the common questions that we're hearing is, how are you engaging students in recruitment? And now, especially, you heard Shelley say that we're about 6% down. But in comparison to some of the other colleges, that's pretty darn good. So we get the question, what are you doing? And I wanted to share with you a few things that we're doing with the college. Just overall, just know that everyone here is working really hard and really differently on our recruitment and retention initiatives. So I'm just going to share a couple things. I'm hoping that you opened up your packet. Obviously, you have your board agenda, so hopefully some cool stuff fell out of that. But just sharing with you that a few different items. So on your screen, let's see, Mike, are you able to? How do we get Mike to take? There we go. Yay! Thank you, Mike or Mandy. So here's a couple things that are going on. I wanted to share with you that we kicked off in August the Marshfield Campus 100-year celebration. Really, really excited about that. Some of you recall we did something similar over in Stevens Point last year for their 5-year celebration of their downtown location. But this one is going to, is a little bit different, obviously. We're going to be having events all year long and activities to really engage the community. This is a landing page that is on our website, and we're really excited to be able to put up winners and pictures and different things to just celebrate the 100 years. At the end, just like we did over in Stevens Point, we'll have a large grand prize gift basket. So just know that's going on. One of the tchotchkes, as we call them, that hopefully fell out of your package was a little cow. Did you get the little Millie in your packet? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so that was one of the little items. There was a reverse parade that took place in Marshfield, and Alex and her team actually participated in that. It was a very socially distanced, appropriate event that took place, and that was the giveaway that was provided. So you'll be hearing and maybe even seeing some cool stuff in your upcoming board packets with regard to the Marshfield Campus 100-year celebration. Additionally, you heard Dr. Deb talk about the campaign Experience Choice. That is a really neat campaign, and we actually added a little tagline onto that, both in our postcards, our TV, our radio, web and social, where we're really targeting high school seniors and early college folks that maybe would give Midstate a try. The tagline of risk-free really is something new for us. Some of the other colleges are doing the same. But what that means when we drive folks to our website is that there is no application fee. They have the opportunity to really try out a Blackboard experience to see if online or technology learning will work for them and ask us questions before they get in a live class situation. Of course, the guaranteed university transfer. We're just really showing the students that there's many ways. If they're not comfortable going back to school, or they think that there's some reason why they want to stay local, we can be that local partner, and they can minimize all of the things that might be going on in their head by coming in and understanding that there is no application fee. They can take a kick at the can on Blackboard. If they take a class, it's going to transfer. Heck, I mean, even when they order books, they can either say, I want them shipped to my house, I want to come to your bookstore, and we have something really cool called curbside delivery. So I'm going to play that, play the actual commercial for you. It's only 30 seconds. We're going to pull it up for you real quick.
Experience choice risk-free at Midstate Technical College. Your choice to learn with small in-person classes, online classes, innovative technology class options, or your choice of any combination to fit your needs. You can get your liberal arts degree and transfer as a junior to all UW colleges. Pre-order books for home delivery, curbside, and bookstore pickup. Experience choice risk-free at Midstate Technical College. Find out what risk-free means at mstc.edu. Experience choice.
So that was one of our in-house productions that we're pretty proud of. A couple other things on the list, just wanted to share with you a little bit about Verso. We have many questions about that. Of course, you know, the 902 workers that are scheduled to be displaced prior to the end of the year. So far, we've had nearly 400 of those workers inside the Midstate campus. It's very small groups, socially distanced. They're learning about many different things, not only their benefits, but how Midstate could be a partner for them. We've got some short training videos. We've had a job fair in our gym. We've had some in-house employee meetings, and we are the host site for the Rapids Together meetings, which is a Senator Teston representative crew group that's coming together. So we anticipate that this will be probably all of, at first we thought it was going to be the third quarter, calendar quarter, but we believe it's going to actually go through fourth quarter. So we're weaving in those services for them. One very exciting event that we did that you may have heard about because we did a radio blitz was our first ever drive-in event. And what that was is it was an event that we held in our parking lot. It was really prospecting folks that were in the last 3 terms that they have applied to us. So they had some interest at some point, but they had never enrolled. We had 18 cars in our parking lot that went through kind of our process, if you will. And so we have 7 new full-time enrollments and 2 new part-time enrollments. So that was, in our book, that was a success because we hadn't been able to really get them and reel them in, but with this type of activity, we were. So our outreach team did a fantastic job. Also in your packet, I'm hoping you received a webcam cover. That was another initiative by our outreach team. And that inquiry, that postcard went out to folks also that had inquired with us over the last 9 months. So what that little piece is, do you recall seeing a little postcard? That little postcard had something that you can cover your photo eye on your computers with that. So when you're not on web, you can actually shut that off, and it's a security feature that we've provided. We're anxious to see what type of response we get from that. And then, of course, we launched the Cougar. And what you're going to be hearing about more and more after the 24th of the month is that we're asking for folks to help us name the Cougar. So right now, for the first 2 weeks after the 24th, folks will be able to submit their names. I should say it'll be open for 1 week, and then we've got 1 week to kind of assemble, some of the names that come through before we go to some head-to-head voting. We're going to wrap that up in October, and at that point we'll have our merchandise be available for sale here at the college. And I think through the in-service ideas that Karen was able to do and Shelley was able to draw for, we've got people really kind of using the Cougar as part of our brand now, and that's really important. We're starting to stack up some things for the month of September. We've got Meet Your New Program Advisor. I'm hoping in your next packet you'll have a little something. It's going to be a spoiler, so I'm not going to tell you much about it. But again, we're going after the applied students that have not yet enrolled, and we'll be focusing on our October midterm start for those students. We're also going to be working with the Heart of Wisconsin Employment and Resource Fair, which is going to be held at East Junior High in the field house, a socially distanced, appropriate event that will be open to community members. I'm anticipating additional Verso folks will be there, as well as Ho Chunk. And then we will be wrapping up the month kind of externally with the Portage County Business Council Job Fair, and that'll be at the Holiday Inn and Convention Center. So those are just a few things I wanted to share with you. I'm hoping that that's exciting to you. If you think we're doing a lot, we are. We've got every division in the college here helping in some sort of way. So we'll take the screen down, and if there's any questions, I'll be happy to field them. Otherwise, just watch for your next board packet for tchotchkes.
Any questions for Bobby? If not, we'll go to the committee of the whole. And I would report that Shelley told us, presented us, I guess, this month with Exhibit H, which you obviously can't see. There's board policies that will be reviewed and approved and acted on in September. So that's what we're expected to do. And the security update, Karen, how much do you want to go through with this security update, other than you've got the 200 plus cameras across the various campuses, and you stepped that up? I don't know how much you want to do yet with that.
No, that's fine. We just provided information on our new system, that it is much more comprehensive than what we had, and we're almost done with the install.
Okay, thank you. And now discussion and action. National Counseling, Marketing, and Public Relations. Bobby?
Yep, you get me again. And I wish that there was popcorn on this one, but there's not. So I just wanted to share with you, we've talked about this in the past. I think Shelley has had it in one of her previous report outs. But in 2019, the Mid-State Marketing Department submitted a few samples of what we considered our best work to the National Council of Marketing and Public Relations. And that's the only organization of its kind that really exclusively represents public relations professionals at community and technical college. As one of the fastest growing affiliates of the American Association of Community Colleges, there's more than 1,700 members, and we're one of 650 colleges across the United States and Canada that kind of are within that group. But we are honored to have been chosen for the Gold Paragon Award. And I want to show you what we got. I was going to say bring home the hardware, but I'm hoping you can see this on the screen. But this is a very lovely glassware, and it has our name on it, Mid-State Technical College. And it is just the award for the Gold Paragon Award. But I wanted to give you just a quick peek. This is just a 2 minutes long, and share with you what the presentation looked like that we also did virtually. So I'm going to kick this off.
Television video ad, single. Bronze goes to Owens Community College, Ohio. 4, powered by Owens.
What powers Northwest Ohio? The proud alumni of Owens Community College. Those who protect us, who care for us, and connect us. Those who develop solutions, who help build cities and teach future generations. More than 70% of Owens alumni choose to live and work in our community. Northwest Ohio is powered by Owens Community College.
Silver is presented to Central New Mexico Community College for A Hero's Journey.
When my great-grandmother, Michaela Abeta, traveled to this valley for the very first time, she had no idea what the future held. From caretaker to landowner, my great-grandmother spun a dream out of the air for herself and her family. She worked hard, she saved her money, she bought 7 acres of land and built a future for generations to come. Michaela Abeta's dream, over 100 years in the making, was passed on to me. The future my great-grandmother envisioned is still alive, and a degree from CNM helped me build on it.
And the gold is awarded to Mid-State Technical College, Wisconsin for Get the College Experience.
For me, college is about more than hitting the books. And at Mid-State Technical College, I get the whole college experience. Live in a dorm? Bam. There's a meal plan? Tasty. I could join a student organization? Hi. Or intramural sports. Plus, I can study abroad while earning college credit. And the cost for all of this? No brainer. So don't wait. Apply today.
This ad is attention-grabbing and provides an incredibly intriguing way to promote student life. It kept my interest from start to finish. It demonstrates a great use of animation, video, and music, and it makes viewers picture themselves as a student at Mid-State.
So that's kind of where the confetti falls down. My work here is done.
That's awesome.
That is, congratulations. That's very good. It is excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you. That'll wrap up my presentation.
Thanks, Bobby. All right, we're ready for closed session. However, I have a need for a slight break. So if somebody I entertain a motion to go to closed session, and then we'll take a quick break.
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Robert Beaver,
Yes.
Betty Brusky Malik,
Yes.
Jane Krask,
Yes.
Richard Burden,
Yes.
Linnea Miller,
Yes.
Charles Spargo.
Yes.
Okay, folks. To take a quick 3-minute break or so.
So let's, you tell me when we're ready to go back?
It's recording.
And we are ready to go back, Bob.
Okay.
Motion to
I don't
adjourn.
know what, but it wasn't right. I can tell you that. All right, going back to open session.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll see you in September. Have a
That's
good
a
one,
song.
folks. Sorry
Thank
about
you.
that mess. Sorry. Yep.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. See ya. See ya.
Everybody, thank you.
Goodbye.